partner brewery again decides that they're going to give us a keg of beer, which that always makes life interesting. And they were accepting donations for a glass of beer for the MB3 Foundation. So now we figured out how to partner it with a nonprofit. And then we said, okay, well, it's just like regular golf, so why don't we sell whole sponsors? So we sold whole sponsors. We sold, as you see people wearing cool outfits, we sold cool socks.
Don't look so cool on me.
We sold more merchandise. We sold balls, because people showed up and they said, oh, well, I need a ball. So we have a deal through Adidas. So again, that wholesale relationship, we now were able to take something as simple as a ball, mark it up and sell that. So there's opportunities in everything that you do. We want to know what makes this fun? Ron and I don't play. Because we're walking around and we're razzing people, we're talking to people, we're sharing an experience. Because again, people won't really remember what you tell them, but they will remember how you make them feel. So we try to make sure that we're doing touches with everyone there and having a good time. And it really, really works. So
we now do 2 a year.
Yeah, US Bank had so much fun at it, and I think we had to call like 4 Ubers from all the guys from US Bank. It was awesome. But they're like, this is awesome. They want to do branded tents now. They put on 2 a year. We just got done having one in April. Next one's in September. So guys, we put together information packets. So if you guys want to put stuff in our packets, if you want to come out and share a beer and maybe show them your turf products, I don't know, there's something we can work out.
Stop selling. And what's cool about it is, like my wife, who's on the left there in the top right picture, never kicked a soccer ball in her life. Same with her aunt, who's sitting right next to her. And she said that was the funnest day out that they've ever had. It was a really cool day. Yeah, Bob?
I just real quick wanted to, what I didn't say, Mike, is our social outing in July is going to your soccer game. So
that's right.
All the people who make a difference don't know that yet. But we're gonna have
sneak preview.
Ron told me if we have enough people, he'll even get us a tent. We might just get a tent anyway. And we might bring our own food. But anyway, it'll just be that kind of outing. It's not a money maker, just to go have fun, network, be outside, watching guys in action.
Because people don't always remember what you tell them, but they always remember what you feel. I love that line. So again, our season is April, May. April's preseason. It's May, June, July. So we have no business bringing in revenue in September. No business bringing in revenue in March. Except we have these events that bring in $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 in revenue, and that's what allows us to be a sustainable business year round, other than just our games. So let's shift our focus now to how do you get people to attend an event, and this is one again that I can go on and on and on about. So I'll try to keep it brief. I know everyone's probably starting to get hungry. It's almost lunchtime. But how do you get people to come to your event? So first of all, you need to figure out what's the big idea. What's the concept of your event? So when you do an event, what's the goal? What are you trying to accomplish? What's the big idea of the event? With foot golf, the big idea of the event was to provide some entertainment, to bring in some revenue in the off season, and have a tie-in with soccer. So how do we do a tie-in with soccer? We found foot golf because it was getting really popular all around the country. And there's one golf course, it's done on a real golf course. It's one golf course in New Mexico that does it, and it's Santa Ana Golf Club up by the Hyatt Tamaya. So they built the course on the side of the regular golf course. It only takes about 2 hours to play 18 holes. Regular golf, for those of you who don't play, takes about 4 or 5 hours. So it's about 2 hours. They can do it late in the day, so we start at 4:30 when most of the golfers are already off the course. So for the golf course, it's again, I'm a geek, I start looking at this stuff, I'm like, wow, what a great source of incremental revenue for this golf course. They're done. They didn't put a beverage cart out the first year. And I told them, I said, are you crazy? All these people want to drink while they're out here. They did it again, they sold $5,000 in beverages on that event where we did 108 people. And then that was in addition to the brewery that donated the keg of beer. It was free if you made a donation to the nonprofit. So what was the big idea? It was, let's bring people together, tie something into soccer, and have an off-season revenue source. This is not my favorite clicker today. Set up a web page or event registration system. There are tons of these out there. I've used Constant Contact's EventSpot. I have not used Eventbrite, but I know of a lot of people that do use it. So Eventbrite is spelled B-R-I-T-E. Constant Contact EventSpot is one that I use a lot. I really enjoy it. I've used it. There is a new one. I always like to support local when I can. There's a new one in town. Those of you who have heard the name Andy Lim started a company called Lavu. Got $15 million of investment from a Baltimore venture capital firm, and has now sold his stakes in the business and is doing really well. One of his business partners who started the business actually works with Rob, who's going to be one of our speakers in a little bit. They have a thing called AddMe, A-D-D-M-I. It's a local app that was started right here in Albuquerque, and they are now getting into the event business. So you want to look at that one. There's lots of different ways to set that up. When you're going in, you're going to set up the event name, the event date, the time. And I got to tell you, I don't have it written down here, but this is a writer-downer for everybody. 3 words that'll help you put on a really good event. Set the date. Because that forces you to do it. Once you set the date, you're ready to go. Before you set the date, you procrastinate, you procrastinate, you procrastinate. How many people in here are procrastinators? I know I am.
I'll tell you tomorrow.
Well done. Just set the date. Once you set the date, you are forced to do it. And then it's go, 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 go. So set up that web system again. You can do it through Constant Contact, Eventbrite. AddMe is a local version that just started. And just Google event registration system. There's tons of them. Set up social media. We're going to have 2 speakers, 2 of our members today, Pam Myers and Erica Yoakum, talk a little bit more about social media, so I'm not going to go too deep into this. But there is a Facebook, obviously, event system. One of the toughest things that I would love it if Pam, you talk about during your piece here soon is how do you get people that sign up for a Facebook event to actually show up to your event? Because I struggle with that. Is people will say, yeah, they're interested in the event, they're going to go to the event, but there's no direct correlation to get them to commit to actually going. There'll be a link for you to sign up for the event, but it's really hard to convert people from saying they're going publicly so the world can say, hey, look, I'm going to this event, to actually showing up. And even better, maybe giving you some money and paying some revenue for your event. So set up social media, and again, we'll let Pam and Eric, I don't want to steal any of their thunder, we'll let them talk more about that during their presentation. Let's skip to number 5. That's funny. Okay, number 4, create an event flyer. This is something that is, I talk so often, and I'm guilty of being bad at this, is I talk so often about don't ever let the mechanics of your business stop you from doing stuff. And so many times I'll do all this stuff and get ready for an event, and I hate graphic design work, and I hate doing stuff like this. Just outsource it if you don't like it. There's people in this room that do graphic design work. Outsource it because it's just a pain in my butt, and I hate doing it. But once you've created the event flyer, it makes every other piece of marketing for that event a lot easier for people to look at. So if you go to the Albuquerque Soul Facebook page right now, you'll see our event flyer for our event Thursday night. We are partnering with Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, the American Cancer Society, the New Mexico chapter. And we're going to be raising money throughout the night with a 50-50 raffle. We're actually, you guys are going to get the news before it's released to the press. We are going to be coming out on Thursday night in pink jerseys for Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. And then those will be auctioned off and raffled off to raise money for the charity. My mom is a breast cancer survivor, so to me it means a lot that we're going to be doing a big thing for this. But our event on Facebook looks that much better because of the darn little flyer that we have in the picture. People say, oh, pink, what's this? They click on it and it talks about the event this Thursday. So create an event flyer, and then number 5, send personal invites. Those of you who know me pretty well, I'm sure I've sent you a personal invite at some point to one of these things. A lot of the time I'll take that Facebook event link and I'll copy it and I'll type a personal email to someone and paste it in there. Would love it if you could make it to this event. There's so much that goes into a person. If you can do a handwritten note, even better. That's asking a lot, I know. But if you can send an email with a personal invite, personal invites go a long way. And then finally, the third part of the presentation today, and then we're going to go to lunch. Actually, we're staying working lunch because we've got tons of presenters, is how to execute a successful event. So being prepared is obviously one of the most important things. You want to hope for the best and plan for the worst. Let me give you an example from about hour and a half ago. I got to the room, and normally we have a table there for drinks, and we have the food in the back. And they rearranged the room a little differently, and I didn't like the way that it looked. And I thought, well, when someone comes in, I don't think that. And it's not the hotel's fault. I didn't give them a map saying this is how I want it drawn up. It just didn't look right. The room was off balance, and I thought, that could affect the way people perceive, especially those of you who are guests. I want you to get the best first impression of the group. This doesn't look right. So we just asked them real quick, and again, it's one of the things where I don't think it's going to affect the way you think. Obviously, I hope you enjoy your time in the group today, but just when you walk in, that first impression might change your impression of the group. So I plan for all different things. What happens if my speakers don't show up? So today, I think we've got 4 or 5 different people that are speaking. And Stacy, I love you to death. He did call me and tell me you're going to be late. But when the event started, I was like, oh, he's not here yet. So I had to have a backup plan in my head. If Stacy doesn't come, what's another presentation we can go to and kind of pivot that way? But he did call me and tell me he was going to be late, so I appreciate that. So plan for the worst, and obviously we're all hoping for the best. Sending multiple announcements and reminders. And those of you who are on the email list for Power Circle all know we don't just send one reminder about Power Circle. But the emails usually start about 2 weeks ahead of time, and then there's usually one a week ahead of time, and then one usually the Thursday or Friday before. I test different ways. So those emails you get, I'm looking on the back end of my email marketing system, and Erica helps me a lot with this. I'm not doing it all myself. Erica does most of this. We're looking at how many people are opening this email. If we send it on a Thursday at 10 o'clock, but why don't we send it on a Friday at 3 p.m.? Let's see what it's like on Thursday. Let's see if we send it at 6 a.m. And when I took over the group from Wayne, he had all of his emails used to go out, if you remember, at 6 a.m. So you'd always get it first thing in the morning. So I'm testing all these different ways and seeing which way gets the most emails open.